We have a really dope show tonight. Woo! Really excited about our guest. K Wonder is in the building.
Yeah.
Sean Beasley is in the building.
I am here.
And we're about to kill it.
Kill it.
Great show.
Always.
Yo, I'm so excited for tonight.
Do you know? Let's be clear. We are the best podcast in Philly. Period.
Put a stamp on that.
Period. Period.
And on top of that, we got one of Philly's finest in the building, okay?
Yes,
Desiree Bradshaw.
Come in here looking all
in the
good.
Building, okay, author extraordinaire. And listen, we are so happy to have you. Like,
I'm happy
it feels like it's been a long time, and we're finally here. Last week, the elements of weather was in the way, but nothing could stop us today, right?
Yes, finally here. Finally.
Won't he do it?
Yes. We're really excited to have Desiree here. She is the author of Layla's Big Wish.
Yes.
So we're gonna get into talking about like the book and what was the motivation behind you writing that and all of that. We also have Chill Moody coming in.
Chill Moody for
West. Super
Chill.
excited to see him and discuss his new project with Wes. They just dropped it last week, I believe.
Sickness.
It's West Chili 2.
Sickness.
Their second project together. Really excited.
Yeah, we have actually a very eventful night. You know what I mean? And we're starting it off with this lovely. So get into that first question you asked about the book and how it all came into fruition.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
So, the book came about. I was incarcerated in Danbury Federal Prison.
Wait, you?
Yes.
No, not.
So you know Kai too?
Swear to God, I was about to be like, so that's how y'all know.
Let the hate commence, right? No, actually, it was a blessing in disguise, right, for everybody. Go ahead.
I mean, of course, it was a nightmare at first.
Mm-hmm.
I was sentenced back in 2014. So I went in around like November 14th, 2014, and I was sentenced to a year and a day.
Okay.
And I was pregnant actually when I was arrested first. I was like 6 months pregnant.
Wow.
So it was very devastating. And I was recently married before. So it was really devastating. And I have 2 other children as well. An older son. He's 16 now, and a daughter. She's 11. So it was hard. But, you know, while I was there, like, you know, after getting over being traumatized, like, you know, I had to make it do what it do. Like, you know, I had to, like, you know, I prayed constantly. Like, you know, and I met Jamila there, and it was amazing. Like, you know, it just took off from there. Like, I always wanted to write. I just never sat still long enough. So I feel like, you know, God sent me in that place, like, you know, so for me to get that done and to, like, really, you know, put me on the right path.
Accomplish your
That's
purpose.
crazy because being in Danbury, like we interviewed Jamila, now now we have you on the show. It's like, is Danbury really a bad place to be?
No, I wouldn't say it's bad because it's a camp. So, you know, when people hear prison, I mean, there is a prison that's up like the hill. That's like the prison part. And then where we were was the camp. So it's mainly like, I think 95% of the people there are like nonviolent crimes.
Correct.
So, you know, it's not like, you know, how people think that it is. There's no like locked doors and stuff like that. But I was here in Philly for like a month before.
That was locked doors.
FDC.
FDC.
Yes, and that is just like horrible. It's like if anybody remember the show Eyes.
It's really like
It's crazy. Like it's like locked doors at 9 p.m. 6 a.m. You can't come out until 6, and it's like they give you cold cereal and cold bagels every single morning. So imagine eating it every single morning. So it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, God brought you to this place where he allowed you to be still. And you said you always had the passion to write. So you link up with Jamila, and what happens then?
So I linked up with Jamila. I had, like, you know, word from people around the camp. Like, I had seen her, like, you know, and saw, like, she was always constantly moving on the phones, like, you know, talking to different people. But you know how it is, like, when you're in jail, it's like, you can't trust everybody. And you're like, is this person pump faking? Like, you know, like, is she really talking to somebody?
That's that Philly right there. You pump faking.
So I'm like, you know, you can't really trust everybody. And I had heard around the camp that she had, you know, books, you know, already published and stuff like that. So I was a little hesitant at first, but once I took it to her, you know, it was new to both of us. Like, she never did a children's book, even though she had other books published. So we just like jumped on it. She loved it. Like, you know, she helped me rearrange some things, like take this out, put this in. So we got everything done in prison. Like, we got it edited, published, everything in prison.
Danbury.
It was, yes.
The prison
So
walls.
people can never say they can't
Exactly.
do something.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You just have to use your resources.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So I mean, we were typing in the computer room, like just printing everything out, like, you know, sending mail back and forth like a gazillion times. Like, so it was, you know, it's amazing to talk about it now, but like, you know, doing it, like, you know, it was like, oh my goodness, like we got it done. We got it done.
So what made you come up with the name of the book, and what was the true story behind that character?
Well, the true story behind that, it came from my daughter, me having a daughter, and I didn't want to put, her name is Amor. I didn't want to put her name on it because I have other children, and I didn't want them to grow up and be like, well, how come my name didn't go on there? Or like, you know, so I picked a different, my daughter is close with another family member of mine, and her name is Layla. So I picked Layla from my cousin that she's close to. So it came from that, and, you know, I was just inspired to write, like, you know, because my daughter she has a very big imagination, and she's always asking, like, you know, a lot of questions about God, and like, you know, so
That's amazing.
You know, I said, like, you know, even though I always wrote, writing like children's book came new to me there. Like, so I was just like, I'm going to do this. Like, you know, I'm going to make this, like, you know, be my motivation, like her be my motivation, and write this, like, you know, write this book, start writing this book. So,
and for those who don't know, Layla's Big Wish is basically about her connection to God, and basically her learning that through prayer she can and anything will come to fruition. And
yes,
it's a very beautiful book. The illustration is amazing. Who did the illustrations for you guys?
There's a lady that we met. Well, Jamila actually met her first. We call her Posh. She's on Instagram, and we met her through Instagram. So, and I mean, that was
the power of social media.
Yes, and that was the hardest thing that we had ran into, was the illustration. We put so much money out to different illustrators, like, you know, and I had, you know how they say you speak too soon about things, like, so I had constantly kept talking about it, like, you know, I have a book coming out, telling people, like, and I feel like people were so over me, like, you know, like, when is the book coming out? When is the book coming out? And I'm like, oh my God, it's not me. Like, you know, this is so hard. Like, you know, with the illustration, it was crazy. But once we found her and she sent us back samples, it was like this. Like, she got it done in like the whole book in like 2 months.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and she's very talented. So, yeah.
And what's her name on social media? Is it Posh?
Yes, it's like it's Posh. It's like she's from Turkey.
Oh,
so yeah,
Turkey.
so it's like pronounced. It's pronounced different, and I can like look it up just to get the right.
Yeah, we can post
yeah, I'll get the
So you're from Philly. What part of Philly are you from?
South Philly.
South Philly.
Yep,
okay.
born and raised.
And so, give us a little feedback of what it was like for you growing up as a young girl, and what brought you to your situation as to where you ended up incarcerated to find your purpose.
Well, growing up for me, like, you know, I can't complain. I come from a 2-parent, like, you know, home. My mom and my dad, they were married when I was 20, but they were together all my life.
Okay.
I can't complain. I pretty much had, like, you know, everything, you know, that I asked for. I'm the only child on my mom's side.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother on my dad's side, but just being spoiled. I mean, once I got older, like, you know, I ran into just being money hungry and just being greedy. Like, so it was just like, I'm going to say that social media is a gift and a curse. So it's like, you know, you try to keep up with social media and the things and the people that you see on social media, and you just want more. So, you know, I ran into that, and I had, like, you know, throughout my entire life, I had amazing jobs that I feel like people probably pray for and wish for. Like, I mean, I worked at a casino where they were making like top dollar, and I didn't like do anything illegal, like to get to lose that job, but basically I was just clowning around, like just being young and not taking it serious, that like, you know, that this is really a good job. And before I went into prison, I was working at TD Bank. Wow. So, and that's what got me in trouble there, just being greedy. And I had the opportunity to stop what I was doing, but being greedy, I kept going, thinking that it was sweet.
Intuition, right? We were just talking about that earlier, right?
Sure were.
We were talking about how God gives everybody the intuition and sometimes it comes on strong, and we notice
and might ignore it though.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a crazy story, but I'll tell you off of air.
Well, I have a question, just kind of going back to social media aspect, and with you having a young daughter, and I don't have children, but I have cousins and kind of like adoptive nieces and nephews, so I see how they're so addicted and influenced by it. So how will you navigate that with your daughter and kind of guide her so she doesn't necessarily fall into the trappings of social media, like that whole what's the term? We know when it's beyond jealousy. It's like envy and kind of like not thinking your life's good enough and the self-esteem issues that come with that.
That's a good question because she's 11 and I feel like the kids nowadays, they grow up so fast. And it's different from when we were 11. Like, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have social media. And I just was talking to her recently about this. I'm like, why don't you go outside and play? Like, we used to do hopscotch, jump rope. Like, jump rope was my life back then. They don't even know how to jump rope.
Double dutch.
Yes. Right? Like, so, like, it's a constant battle, like, with her, with that. And she does. So I try to limit her, like, as much as I can. And I find that, like, she does get caught up, like, sometimes a lot. So I have to stay on her and, like, just reassure her. Like, she looks at things and she's like, oh, Mom, let me show you this. Like, this little girl is so pretty. I'm like, you're so pretty. Like,
Wow.
So, like, I hate that. Like, and when she does that, like, it makes me want to, like, get her cut it off, right. Like, completely. So
what was it? Did she read the book?
Yes.
What was her thoughts when she read the book?
She was amazed, actually, because they knew, like, that I would write, but they never really read anything because I would write, like, for grown-ups, like, for adults. So when she read it, she was just like, you wrote this? Like, you wrote this? I'm like, yes. She like, oh, Mom, this is so nice. So she was excited. She wanted to take it to her school and like.
Wow. You didn't let her take? Did you let her take it to school?
Yeah, she did. Now, so I have something that works with them as well. Okay. She goes to Meredith Elementary School in South Philly, and I have something that works with them, like reading to the second graders, and they have like book fairs. Awesome. So the principal wants to set me up with stuff like that.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Right?
Do you find it hard? Is your book where you want it to be at right now?
No, it's not. But I feel like it will be.
Okay.
And, you're an independent publisher, correct? Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So with that means, obviously there's.
Well, we're not independent. It's with Jamila's.
Right.
Yes,
right. But Jamila has what Voices International.
Yes,
so
Voices
you're
International.
under their publishing company.
Right.
And they have opportunities and get knocked on doors by the majors. You know what I mean? So I feel like the more you guys work it, that will come. But it's just you all. Right. It's an independent at this point. You guys have full control, full reign, and it has happened organically for you. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, we were just talking behind scenes. You were on the QDZ
the morning show
on his radio station. So I know, like, and that happened organically. You know what I mean? So those are the things that, like, I would feel you would naturally want. And you're really thankful for because it's all ordained. It's God given. You know what I mean? It's no forcing, no pushing. Right. I don't gotta pitch you. You just are here for the cause. So, and that's why we would have you here because we feel the same way. Like, you're a strong Black woman. You're overcoming adversity. You're not letting that hinder you at no cost. You know what I mean? I see you on Instagram. She be all over the
place. Right.
What do I gotta do to get down? Like, she be everywhere. It's a new book. It's a new everything. I love it. I absolutely love it. So
that's inspiring.
That's amazing. What is your long-term goal overall as an author?
Well, the book is going to be a series, so it's going to be 2 more. So we're definitely working and talking about that now. So right now, our goal is to try to reach out to a lot of churches, like the big churches. So we actually have something in the making with that. We're going to be like going on tours soon to go to different churches. So we really want that. Like, we really want that. We want to. We want this to be big. Like, we want this to reach the kids, like, in our urban communities, in the schools and stuff like that. So,
because we definitely don't see Layla on TV. We don't see her on books.
Right.
And that's what
the image you're saying.
The image. Okay. That's what I feel
and those
like.
Questions.
You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
That's important for young Black girls in America today.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Transcend.
Yes. And there is a boy in the book as well.
Yeah.
And I think when kids at this age start to learn about God, it does a bigger impact for them as an adult. So
I commend that, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you wrote that book.
And out of that, I know I had our friend, your friend, and more importantly, Sean Beasley, who is a VP of Mass Appeal. He hit me up like, "Oh, I need to know more about the book. I have an idea of starting a child section." And I was just like, "Wow." You know what I mean? That's the power of social media again.
So that's why you should come to New York to the event.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
He's all, Let's get into this next song before we get back to the rest of this interview with Deseree Bradshaw-Hall, author extraordinaire, children's author, and I'm sure she's going to take us into the adult stages because we're going to talk about it after this song. Let's get into it right now. Cardi B, your girl Cardi.
Money.
With money.
Okay.
Money.
I can't do it.
It's all about
I can't.
Oh, okay.
I've worked on it.
Let me do it.
No.
He need water. He needs some milk. It's K Wonder, Sean Beasley, Mara D. It's the Drop Night Show with Deseree Bradshaw-Hall. With Cardi B, we'll be back on What Ice Radio. Let's go.
What's up? It's your girl Mara D. We were just really partying to that Cardi B money.
Money.
I know I need some
money.
Always. We're back with
Get it.
Desiree. We're still talking about her books. And are you going to be writing adult literature now? Is that what's coming up? Okay.
Yes, I need to know about some love making, body shaking.
Absolutely.
I love the children's aspect though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is toys coming with your adult books?
Look, I'm like, wait.
What kind of sex book?
Flavor are you?
Yeah.
I'm like,
are we talking about? Because he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, toys. This is not Zane.
Look,
I don't think that's the kind of book she's writing. But you clarify.
I'm like, wait. What?
He's on another page.
It's gonna be. I'm not telling.
Okay.
But no, there's no toys coming. No toys.
But it's going to be mature adult.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. And what do you think the inspiration, like so far that you're doing? What is it?
It's going to be a mixture. It's going to be some about my life.
All about okay.
It's going to be a mixture in here. Some facts.
Okay.
And some
I would
fiction.
like
you
to
gotta
see
make it
relationship
interesting.
goals because you and your husband are relationship goals.
Oh, thank
For real.
you.
Like, y'all
Thank you.
really
That's
support
black love.
each
Black
other.
love.
Love that.
Yes,
Okay.
he supports me 120%. Like
Wow.
That's beautiful.
120.
So how did that? You said you had just got married. What was that like? That struggle. Was it a struggle? What was it?
Yes, we had just got married July 29th, and I went in November.
Okay.
But I got sentenced in September, so it was all fresh. The baby was only 3 months when I went in. So it was definitely like, a struggle. I think I was kind of selfish because I was really only thinking about me and the baby and not him and the baby until like later on, like a lot later, later on. Like I was just like, like just I was breastfeeding and it was just like, it was hard.
Horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible. It was horrible. So, but I mean, he did an amazing job. Like he came every single weekend, 3 hours with the baby.
Wow.
He missed, I think 2 weekends the entire time I was there for 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of those weekends
That's
was
a
like the
story
weekend
in
before I
itself.
left.
That is.
From a dad's
Wow.
perspective.
Yeah.
Did you pray for him?
Did I? Like, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's
And I mean,
awesome.
he had, like, he did it with the baby. He has a full-time job, so and his days off was not Saturday, so he had to get his days switched, and he had, like, my other 2 children a lot as well, like, so it was really hard, like, for him. And like I said, I think I was being selfish in the beginning. I wasn't looking at it, like, I'm like, this is nothing, like, I do it all the time. I wasn't, really, like, thinking about him.
From a man's perspective.
Like it was just like, the baby, like, I need for you to get here. Like, I need you to be here. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But you were going through it, so you can't be too hard on yourself about it.
Yeah. I mean, he understood.
Part.
Like, he was always, like, positive about everything. No matter how upset I was about situations, he was always positive about everything.
What's your sign?
That's what you need.
I'm a
and what's his?
He's a Gemini.
I wonder what was one of your main focuses while incarcerated to see that this project came into fruition, or at least got written. What was the focus behind that?
I don't know the focus. The focus behind it.
That's a good question.
Yeah. The focus behind it. Come back to me on it.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I'll do that. Well, look, everybody who doesn't know, where can they cop the book? Where all the outlets purchase the book? How much is it going for?
The book is $15. Okay. They can go to, it's everywhere. It's Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble's website. If you're following me on Instagram, they can click the link. So I guess we can give them my Instagram, and then they can click the link on there.
What's your Instagram?
Yes, it's DesereeB.Hall.
Can you spell that? Because some people will be like, how you spell it?
DesereeB.HALL.
There we go.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I will say I purchased the book, and I had several people read it. Mm-hmm. And one was a preacher, and she was like, this is amazing. She absolutely loved the book. She read it in a matter of like 20 seconds.
I don't think I knew that.
I didn't tell you. Right.
Okay.
It was literally right after it was Thanksgiving, because when I left your book opening or your book signing at Taste in West Philly, I went and picked her up. She's my cousin. She's a preacher, ordained preacher, and a doctor. She has a doctor. So she read the book because she's been thinking about creating a book with her brother for children. Okay. She's like, I gotta read this. So she read it, and she was just so happy.
Wow.
She was really happy because the fact that it was all about prayer and about your connection with God as a human, as a small human, she just loved it.
Wow.
And it really inspired her to really actually create hers. So you are doing more work than you think you are. And
you don't even know.
Right.
I know. When I hear the stories and stuff, like, behind it, it's like, it amazes me. I can't even believe it. Like,
that's why you got to keep going. Don't stop.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
No, definitely will. Like, I'm not going to stop.
Please
like,
don't.
for sure.
And then branch off. The kids need to hear it, but the adults do too. And the story with you and
your story is
husband,
inspiring.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah, I'd love to read more if you wrote about it.
For sure.
Because I'm tired of hearing Pat, Poos, and Remy. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Well, I mean,
you don't have to put them down. You don't have to put them
down. For a long time, though. She was locked up for a long time.
Yeah. Their story is very relevant.
But it's not the only story. I want to hear other stories.
Right.
Yeah. There's room for all the black love.
Yeah.
We don't see enough of it, period.
And that's a whole nother We're not even gonna real quick before we wrap this, please tell everybody where they can get the book, follow you on IG. And do you have any signings or any events coming up where people can cop the book if they're in the area?
Well, you can get the book if you're in the Philly area. You can get the book at Black and Noble on South Street, on 4th and South. It's there. We don't have any upcoming dates at the moment, but there will be soon, probably within the next month or two.
So follow her on IG.
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram, DesereeB.Hall, and you can click the link in my bio to get the book.
Yes, and we will have more from Desiree coming.
Quick question:
the drop.
Do you get support from South Philly with your book?
Does Philly support you? Period.
Yeah.
No, not really.
As of yet?
No, not really. No. A lot of support from from New York. Not really too much.
And I'm gonna keep saying it.
Philly is shit. Working on that. Philly is shit. Philly has shit.
They don't
Philly
support their own.
Philly has a lot.
Philly has a lot of
they
shit.
Do.
They have to be.
As I say it, it's a crab in the barrel city.
Yeah.
I don't want to agree with that. I feel like Philly has so many barriers up for whatever reason that they just
seems
have
like there's
to come back down. It wasn't always like that. Philly was not always like this. And you know what? We're an outlet, the Drop Night Show.
Philly has always been like that. What are you talking about?
Sean Beasley doesn't want to hear me. But I'm talking about some real positive shit. Okay. So, listen, Deseree, we thank you so much for coming.
No problem. I'm so happy that I finally.
Yes, it was long overdue. It's such a great inspirational story. I want everybody to go out and get Layla's
get
big
the book.
Wish.
Yes, Layla's Big Wish. Please purchase the book.
Support.
It's a stocking stuffer.
Yes.
Right. Yes, for the holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holiday is coming up.
So, again, we'll have you back once you get the sequels and once we get them adult.
Oh, they're coming.